Today on Teach Me How to Vegan.
I didn't realize how into pumpkin pie I was until I went vegan and didn't know what I was going to do for pumpkin pie. And so my amazing sister did the footwork to figure out how the heck to make vegan pumpkin pie.
And boy, did she nail it.
Oh, yeah.
But like for
like
real.
In a good way.
Yeah, not the show. Not the show.
Basically, the main thing was like, what's the right egg replacer? Because there's so many different methods you can do.
Yes.
And if you look online, it could be daunting.
Yeah, because the recipes online really are all over the place. So it really does help to have a tried and true recipe. And this has been her recipe for years now. It's literally at our dinner table every holiday season.
Welcome to Teach Me How to Vegan,
A podcast where we explore how to switch to a vegan diet.
I'm Tony, a health educator, fitness instructor, and plant-based eating program manager for Animal Protection of New Mexico.
I'm Mickey, a stay-at-home homeschooling mom and vegan cook who likes to play in the kitchen.
Our family stopped eating meat in 2007.
And we went vegan in 2016. Now we like to share with others what we've learned.
Thanks for joining us.
Let's get started.
Welcome to the show, as always. Thank you for being here.
Yes.
Today is pumpkin everything.
I love pumpkin season.
Mickey loves
pumpkin season. Before it was like a thing too, with everybody's PSLs and all of that.
That's
jazz.
what I always like to say because I'm a huge PSLer.
We were ahead of the game.
But
now we're just
way
basic.
before it was way before everyone was into it. I was into the pumpkin spice latte. And that's okay. People
That's
just caught
okay.
up because it's super fabulous.
I will say I am happy for the enthusiasm because you can find a whole lot more pumpkin stuff now.
Right. Yeah.
Which is what the podcast is about.
We're going to get into all the goodies. All right.
Okay.
So, and real quick, if you're not like us and you don't get super excited about all the pumpkin stuff, chances are you still like pumpkin pie. And we are going to talk about that. And pumpkin cheesecake. So if you want to hear about how we make those holiday favorites or just fall time favorites, if you will, stick around and, deal with the rest of our delightful conversation. Real quick, before we get into all the pumpkin goodness, we have two super quick updates to share. Number one is about our upcoming webinar.
Yes.
We've got an exciting event where we're going to make green chili chicken Alfredo pasta.
It's a bit of a mouthful, but it's a yummy mouthful.
There you go.
It is.
And it's going to be fun. So it's a virtual cooking class. We're going to be cooking live. So you're going to see us live and in action in the kitchen.
And we've never done that before. So it is new. So just, heads up.
It's going to be fun. And when you sign up, you get a list of ingredients and, kitchen tools, cooking utensils that you'll need so that you can get all set up and cook with us. And then, if all goes according to plan, we can all have our
taste test together. Yes.
Via Zoom. So the link to sign up for that is in the show notes. It is free. And we hope to see you there.
Yes.
All right, so our second update, and this is going back to our coffee break episode.
Oh, one of your favorites?
My favorites. So I'm glad that there's more to talk about.
Oh, of course. Naturally.
So one of our listeners, Marianne K., wrote in to tell us about her favorite type of milk to use for coffee. And it's a product that we weren't familiar with before. So it's Joy.
Oh, yes.
J-O-I. And actually,
hadn't heard of that one.
I know. And then I was talking to a colleague about it, and she's like, "Oh yeah, that's so great." Actually, she brought it up on her own, and I'm like, "That's weird," because I just learned about that. And so it's basically like a make-at-home milk. So it's like a cashew base or an almond base, and I think they have an oat one now. And so you get the little container of like the concentrated cashew butter,
Stuff,
if you will.
The concentrated goodness.
Yeah, and you throw it in a blender and just blend up your own milk, which is great.
With water?
Yeah, with water.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Easy.
And it blends up, that's what they say, it blends up perfectly, smoothly, all that good stuff. And so the beauty of it is you can make it as thick and creamy as you desire.
Oh.
So you can make it thick and like a coffee creamer. Or like for certain, recipes where you need the creamy stuff.
Especially when, some people are a little snobbish about the creaminess
where
of
it needs
things.
to be, you need Yes.
of certain thickness.
So it sounds really fabulous in that sense. Or you can make it thinner
Yeah.
if you just want like to drink a glass of milk.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye out for that and try it.
Yeah, and then the other cool thing about it is sustainability, limited packaging,
Yes.
because you're making it at home.
Yeah.
If you only make a little bit at a time, or if you only go through a little bit at a time, you can make a little bit at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So people who live like by themselves or with one other person, we go through like ungodly amounts of plant-based milk with
You guys really like the plant-based milk a lot.
with me.
Yes.
I'm blaming our children, but it's me as well. With your 3 boys in the
My
house.
3 guys.
But, that's really great option for people who don't go through as much.
Mm-hmm.
So, wanted to shout that out. Thank you, Marianne, for
Thank
writing
you.
in and letting us know about that. We're excited to
A new thing to
learn
try.
more.
It's always fun.
Mm-hmm. All right. And that will tie into some of the things we're going to talk about today, actually.
Okay.
So, without further ado,
Pumpkin.
we've got the Harvest Spice
We do.
essential oils going in the diffuser.
Yes.
I've got some pumpkin spice coffee. So we're like,
You're like ready to go on this.
the pantry is stocked with pumpkin right now as we speak.
Mm-hmm. We got our little baby pumpkin out as decoration because
We're in
it's
the mood.
time.
Mhm.
Yes.
We're in the season. So let's go.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So first, starting off with something that not a lot of people might think about, but like a breakfast, some breakfast
Oh my
side
gosh.
type of things.
Okay.
So first is pumpkin spice scones.
Oh my gosh, yes. You guys, they're so good.
So it's a very easy recipe.
Mm-hmm. Scones are actually very easy. If you guys have not made scones before, go ahead and look up a recipe, just vegan, whatever flavor you want. Highly recommend for the season, pumpkin spice. And give it a go. I was surprised when I first started making scones how easy it actually was.
It must have been easy because she would make them every single day for a while. So, with all due respect,
When you find a good recipe.
when Mickey makes something like every single day, it's probably not like super.
Yeah. I forgot I made it that often.
There was a phase, and no one in the house was complaining.
No, because I personally love like tea and snack, like snack time. What was I calling it?
Snacks and stories.
Snacks and stories. Yeah, is what I was calling it in the afternoon. And it would be like a warm beverage, like a tea, especially when it's chilly outside. Tea and little baby cookies, and that's when I started making the scones. And then I would read aloud to the boys.
Mm-hmm. So every day was like a different kind of scone.
Yeah.
Blueberry or whatever.
Yep.
And again, no one complained. And then you made pumpkin spice.
Yes.
By adding pumpkin puree.
And
to the mix.
and I always, a lot of the time. So before we go very far, you guys know that if it's easy, we're gonna do it, and if there's a lot to it, we're gonna cut a corner. And so a lot of times when you find a pumpkin recipe, it's like clove and nutmeg and this and that. Just the pumpkin pie mix works just as well.
The pumpkin spice.
The pumpkin pie spice.
There you go.
It's all of that stuff in one, and I just use that. So
for like virtually every recipe if we see cloves, there's that. Okay, I'm using pumpkin spice.
Yep, I'm using pumpkin pie.
Pumpkin pie spice.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And pro tip: if a recipe calls for nutmeg and you don't have it, but you have pumpkin pie spice, I have replaced it in a couple of recipes, and it's taken it up a little notch. It's like become a little family secret that I'm just going to share with you all.
And you would be surprised at which dishes that have nothing to do with pumpkin or sweetness or anything, savory things that we've, and because I did this recently with something I made too, and everyone said it was great. Like there was something different, but it was good, and I might like it better.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting, because I replaced the
nutmeg with
pumpkin pie spice because we didn't have nutmeg.
Yep, exactly. So, side note, back to pumpkin scones. Yeah. But I wanted to point out the pumpkin pie mix is sufficient. You don't have to get all those other little tiny jars and do a quarter teaspoon this, a quarter teaspoon that. If you like it and you have all that stuff, by all means, stick to that. But, we got a busy household sometimes, so I'm just going to cut where I can and buy the pumpkin pie spice mix.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So, and then this recipe, of course, all the recipes we talk about, you can download them on our website. The links are in the show notes. But this one calls for a vegan half and half, which you can use any type of your liking. We talk about a lot of options in the coffee break episode. Or you could use the Joy product and make your own, or make your own from raw cashews, like we also talked about.
think the raw cashews would be really good in there. But I think I've also not had the vegan half and half, and have just done milk before, and it works.
Okay, so this is Mickey's inside info, because I don't know nothing about this.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've just done plain old milk in place of half and half before.
Okay. And then the great thing is you can make a little, what is it called?
The icing.
Icing.
Drizzle.
Drizzle.
Mm-hmm.
And you add the pumpkin pie spice
To
to
the
that.
yes. Oh my gosh.
And it's just like.
Ooh, I think I know what I'm going to be making.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna have to make some soon.
Okay. So yeah, like we said, they go good as like an afternoon snack, or sometimes we like to have them with breakfast with like a plant-based sausage and so whatever else you want to put.
Yeah.
All right. Another great one that's perfect for snacks or breakfast or whatever is pumpkin butter.
Oh my gosh, yes. And it's so easy. I was so surprised at how easy it was.
Minimal ingredients.
Yes.
It is. And it's just so good.
It's so good.
We like to make
so delicious. And put it on the biscuits that are on our website. Oh my gosh. Because they're so big and fluffy. And then you get you put a nice thick layer of pumpkin butter. Okay, we're going to be making some food prep
Not much
here.
else to say about
No,
that. So it's
yeah,
like if you've tried like apple butter or whatever, you know, those types of things.
It's the same kind of thing, but it's super good. It's just a nice change, and it really brings in the season. I like to you switch. I love fall. You switch to fall. I want the apples. I want the pumpkins. I want the cozy. I want the hygge, however you say it. The cozy candle, warmy snuggle, Swedish thing, life stuff. I want all of it.
That's very true. You are all about the season changing.
Yes.
And getting into it.
Yeah.
And the other thing that's cool about the pumpkin butter is you can do it in the slow cooker or the crock pot.
Yeah.
And then it just like makes your entire house smell like pumpkin spice goodness.
Yep.
And so talk about getting into the season.
Yep.
Like what a way to get
Set
into it.
the mood. Yes. All right. So more breakfast stuff. So there's, of course, pumpkin oatmeal. Because, you know, oatmeal, everything goes good. But it's so easy. Just throw a little bit of spice, a little bit of pumpkin puree in there, mix it up. Good to go. Steel cut oats, like pumpkin porridge, the just regular, what is it, like quick oats or rolled oats. You can do baked pumpkin or baked pumpkin oatmeal. I love baked oatmeal. That might be one of my favorite ways to eat oatmeal is baked oatmeal. And then you can like crumble some pecans on it.
So you basically just cook oatmeal how you would, and then you put it in a dish and bake it?
No, you don't cook it. You mix it like you would. I mean, you can look at recipes. Maybe we'll put, I'll find, maybe we'll make a baked pumpkin oatmeal recipe and put it up on the website. Because I just kind of looked at other recipes. And basically, you take your oats, you take your mix-ins, your seasoning, spices, sweetener, filling, whatever, and milk, plant-based milk. You mix it up and then you put it in a pan and bake it. And it's a really good one to prep. It's great for prep because then you can just cut it up into bars essentially. And, you know, kids can serve themselves or it's ready for you in the morning. It'd be real easy to grab and go. All of that good stuff.
Yeah, it is really good. And especially when you put pecans in it.
Yes.
It's my favorite.
Anything with pecans is your favorite.
Yeah, but then that makes it easy.
But it does make it easy.
And you don't have to stand over the stove and all that. So it's just as good, but it has a little bit of a different texture.
The texture
so that's
is
cool.
different.
It's like a change.
Yeah,
and
I think that's why I like baked oatmeal the best. I like oatmeal, but I don't like oatmeal like other people like oatmeal. And so sometimes it's hard for me, but I find I really enjoy the baked oatmeal. So we'll figure out a recipe and get that up for you all too and do that. So
and then just, you know, basically, because you mentioned like porridge or steel cut oats. I just love the steel cut oats. And you just put pumpkin puree in there. Maybe some raisins, maybe some pecans or walnuts.
Yep,
maybe,
walnuts are really good.
Maybe
in that
not.
One.
Like the pumpkin puree and the steel cut oats is like
a really great combination.
I'm just like, it's match made in heaven. And it's a good way to start your day.
Yeah.
You know?
It is. And then the other one I had, and I guess this could be snack or breakfast, would be like pumpkin pasties. My like easy pumpkin pasties that I made. And if you're a Harry Potter fan in any way, about the pumpkin pasties there. And I just basically take the crescent roll dough and you put a little spread of pumpkin in it and sprinkle a little like sugar if you want it sweetened, a little pumpkin pie spice, roll it up and bake it. And you got these little pumpkin filled crescent rolls, which is really tasty.
And the kids love
They
them.
do love them. And so that's really easy one. I guess if you want, you know what you could do is you could put the pumpkin on the inside with a little pumpkin pie spice and then roll it up and then sprinkle a little sugar on the outside. And that would be fun.
Or if you wanted to do a little icing
or a
drizzle,
little icing drizzle. Yeah, that would
you
be
could
really,
do that.
yeah, sort of that extra special treat aspect.
Yeah. And that's basically with powdered sugar, a little bit of milk, like almond milk or soy milk.
And that's it.
And then
You just mix it.
or you might put pumpkin pie spice.
Or, yeah, throw in pumpkin pie
in it.
spice. Yeah.
And again, if we talked about this before, it's like 1 cup of powdered sugar and half a drop of milk.
Toadie's exaggerating, but not by much. It is vastly different amounts. So, and then you always want to start with a little bit of liquid because if you want a nice thick icing, then you want less liquid. And if you want it a little runnier, then you put more. But anyway. And then, of course, pumpkin bread and pumpkin muffins. I mean,
and I don't even know what recipes you use for those.
I'll
so
have to look
you're
because
gonna have to-
I'm going to have to find them.
Mickey's the like pumpkin baker.
Yeah. And it might be that I have your sister's pumpkin bread recipe
Okay.
because she found a good recipe and I think she veganized it and shared it with all of us. And that might be my go-to one. I have to double check.
Okay.
But we'll get them. We'll find a good...
We'll
because
get
I've
'em.
been wanting to make pumpkin bread anyway. So even if I have to retry a recipe, oh, darn. Oh, shucks.
And again, no one in the house is going to complain.
Yep. Okay, so I
All right.
think that's my breakfast stuff.
So that's breakfast. Now, before we get into like desserts and stuff, we've got a great one that's good for like lunch or dinner.
Yes.
And it's a pumpkin pasta.
Oh my gosh, you guys, it's so good.
And it's so easy.
It's so easy. Teen made it last year when he was
makes
still
it
13.
several times.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's made it a bunch. It's that
and,
it's
and
really
he
easy.
loves it too.
He does. He
so
asks
it's
for it
nice
sometimes.
he'll ask for it and then he'll offer to make it and then win
Yes.
for us. So it's, like I said, minimal ingredients.
Yeah.
You just need a little vegan butter, some garlic, pumpkin puree, and coconut milk.
Mm-hmm.
And then your pasta.
And that's it.
Done.
And it's delicious.
But it comes out this like creamy,
yes.
pumpkin-y. It's hard to explain how
Yeah.
good it is. And for fun, we sometimes find the little like pumpkin-shaped pasta from
yeah.
Trader Joe's.
Yep.
And then that just adds
It's just
to
so
it.
fun.
It's like so festive and
Yeah.
on top of being delicious.
Yes.
Of course, Mickey serves it with garlic toast,
Garlic bread of some sort.
garlic bread, and nothing else.
And I like a green vegetable on the side, like green beans or broccoli. Brussels sprouts would probably be good. Maybe some okra. I just like the green next to the pumpkin
Color.
sauce. Yeah, there's something about it that just seems so nourishing almost. There's something about that combination that I'm just like, I love this. Anyway.
All right, so that's our one savory pumpkin dish that we
And
make often.
there's probably others
gazillions.
because I bet you could make like a pumpkin soup. You know how there's butternut squash soup?
Oh yeah.
I'm sure there's pumpkin soup out there too. Because
Yeah.
sometimes, because they're both gourds.
We just haven't really ventured with it,
right.
but I feel like I've had that somewhere before.
Yeah. And then
So-
you can get like chunks of pumpkin that you can put into like curries and stuff.
Oh, pumpkin curry. I've had that before.
Yeah.
Where did I have that? I 1,000% had pumpkin
I think
curry
you,
at a
yeah, I
restaurant.
think you were like, it was so good. But yeah, you can find, or you can get like the little edible pumpkins because like the carving pumpkins are really not the kinds that you want to try to eat. So you want to make sure if you're going to get like a gourd pumpkin that you can eat, you want to make sure it's the edible kind.
Good
But-
pro tip.
Yes.
Don't just buy the jack-o'-lantern pumpkins.
Don't buy the big giant ones thinking you can eat that.
All I'm going to say is I've had it before. I've had pumpkin pie made with those jack-o'-lantern pumpkins. And it did not
compute.
transfer, whatever the word is.
Translate. It didn't work.
And I could just tell you from experience, don't do it.
Yeah. So, okay. All right.
Okay.
Yep. And
but in the store they're usually labeled like
like
pumpkin
cooking,
pie pumpkin or baking pumpkin or
something like that.
Some keyword that tells you you can eat it.
Yeah. And I would imagine, I haven't looked at it, but I would imagine getting one of the edible pumpkins, you're going to cut it and cook it similar to the way you would other winter squash that are hard like that. Mm-hmm. You know, you're going to cut it through, take the seeds out, and then you can roast it, bake it, blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you can find the edible pumpkin and you could throw chunks into soups and do the curry. There's all sorts of ways that you can eat pumpkin outside of like desserts, sweets, breakfast. You can make it savory. Mm-hmm. So, and I might get into that this year because pumpkin's really like got a lot of nutrients that are really good.
So we're going to follow up with some pumpkin soup, stew, curry,
something for
whatever.
Y'all. Yeah.
And if you have great recipes, please share.
That would be awesome.
Because we're going to include that in the future. It's going to happen.
Yes. Maybe we'll do a little follow-up somewhere.
Mm-hmm. It's somewhere down the line. It's going to come up again.
Okay.
So,
but yes, please send recipes.
We look forward to your ideas.
Yes. That would be great.
All right. So moving on to some snacks.
Okay.
Well, first of all, you can just roast the pumpkin seeds.
Oh my gosh, yes.
When you do the carving or whatever.
Carving. Because the jack-o'-lantern seeds, you can clean and roast those and eat those. It's just like the flesh of the pumpkin.
Yeah.
You don't really want to get into.
Because my sister roasted the seeds last year, and then she played around with some different seasonings. One of them was like garlicky, savory, something. It was super good. And then she did a cinnamon sugar.
Oh my gosh. That was everybody's favorite.
Yeah, it was like a dessert. It was really good.
It was so good.
It was super good. And so highly recommend experimenting with that. Because I think that's all she did was like roast them with seasonings. It's not,
just played around with it.
Yeah. So there's that. But then also we have made pumpkin spice chickpeas.
Yes.
So, we've done this with just chickpeas before. You do roasted chickpeas so that you cook your chickpeas or you use canned chickpeas that are already cooked. And then you just roast them in the oven and you can add whatever flavor you want. Yeah. So you can
I forgot I did man, I really go all out with pumpkin spice. I forgot I did that. But they were so good. Yeah,
you've done like buffalo seasoned ones or like maple. They're different ones. And so we just thought, well, let's throw some pumpkin puree.
I think that's what it was, right? It was
the recipe.
Oh, great. It's good.
Chickpeas, pumpkin puree, maple syrup, and pumpkin pie spice.
That's it.
That's
it was simple.
And it's cooked chickpeas or, canned chickpeas that are already cooked. And you just mix it all together and you spread it out on a baking sheet and you bake it. Mm-hmm. And they get like crunchy.
Yes.
And that's why they're like good snacky because it's just like little crunchy chickpeas. And I love it because you're just eating chickpeas.
Yeah. Well, and I've seen people do that with different flavors, maybe not the pumpkin spice, although it might be kind of tasty on salads to be the crunch on their salads. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So
that's how you could have a pumpkin salad if you really want to take it there.
There you go.
It might be good. I don't know.
It might be good.
I don't know.
Get some cooked pumpkin chunks and maybe a sweet, like honey maple or mustard maple dressing, maybe. I don't know. Anyway,
don't know. Or do I draw the line there? I do have a line with pumpkin that we'll talk about later, but pumpkin salad might not.
It might not be it.
Yeah, I don't know.
But anyway, the pumpkin spice chickpeas, that was really tasty. I'm gonna have to make those again too.
Yeah.
I think it's hard for me to consistently make stuff because I'm like, oh, this will be a good snack for a couple days. No, it's like one day for this house.
Yeah.
Like a can of chickpeas. No, I have to do like 3 cans. I'd have to triple
it. For it to be a couple days.
For it to be a snack for a couple days. Because it ends up being so good. Everybody wants, to get like a good size little snacky serving. We end up eating the whole thing.
And there's 4 of us and then it's gone.
Exactly. So.
Now moving on to some desserts.
Okay.
So have you been sticking around for the pumpkin pie?
Here we go.
It only took 25 minutes. But here we go. So let's talk about pumpkin pie. I always thought pumpkin pie, like making it at home, just always seemed like a lot to me.
Yes, I agree.
And then I realized it's not really that hard. But then we went vegan, and then I was like, forget it.
Yes.
This is
Yeah.
impossible.
And pumpkin pie was probably my favorite pie. My dad used to make 2 pumpkin pies. He used to tease that he would make 2 pumpkin pies for the holidays, one for me and one for everybody else, because it was my favorite like that. Like, I will eat it for days.
Mm-hmm.
I'll eat it for breakfast. I
Well,
mean, who doesn't?
yeah.
But
Yeah. And I didn't realize how into pumpkin pie I was until I went vegan and didn't know what I was going to do for
Yes.
pumpkin pie. And so my amazing sister
mm-hmm.
did the footwork
Yes.
to figure out how the heck to make vegan pumpkin pie.
And boy, did she nail it.
Oh, yeah.
But like, for
like
real.
in a good way.
Yeah, like
in
not the
nailed it.
show. Not the show. Like, she got, oh man, she hit it. She bullseye. There we go. I'll say bullseye.
I think the first couple ones might have been
I think
like
yeah.
TV show nailed it.
Yes.
Because it's tough.
It was a it was
Trying
a
to figure
process.
out, and especially in New Mexico and in Albuquerque with our altitude.
Yeah.
That's another variable that's like, and so basically the main thing was like, what's the right egg replacer? Because there's so many different methods you can do.
Yes.
And if you look online, it could be daunting.
Yeah. It
Like if
really
you're
can't define a good recipe.
Yeah, you might be listening to this and being like, I know, I've tried. It's a mess. And who has the time and energy to bake 18 different pumpkin pies? Well, my sister does, because not that she like has all this time and energy.
No, she
But
doesn't.
she
But
is really into holiday
yes.
cooking and making stuff for all of us.
Yes.
And like half the family was vegan.
Yep.
And so she really was
Yep.
invested in doing this.
And she's been hosting the November holiday for years now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so especially when we went vegan, you know, and then more and more people in the family went vegan. She's just like, I'm gonna figure this out. And then I think for her, because she figured out bizcochitos too, vegan bizcochitos. I think for her, she enjoys that kind of bit of a challenge and playing in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not like a task to find time to do. It's like when you unwind, some people like watch shows while she just like makes all these pumpkin pies.
Yes, yeah.
And tries all these different recipes.
Yeah.
And then she has all these people, me and the boys and my niece and sisters and Nikki,
Yep.
who will eat all these pumpkin pies that she makes.
Exactly. And then she's so funny because she's always like, is this one better than last year? Well, it's been a year. I'm not sure if I remember.
Every year, yeah. It's like, is this one better, worse or the same as last year?
Yeah.
Like, it's been 12 months, so
I'm not sure.
it's at least the same good. I know that.
Yeah.
So anyway, how the heck do you do it?
Yes.
Very easy recipes. So we did the pumpkin webinar last year, and my sisters actually did the video demonstration for us. Because again, I was scared. I'm like, can y'all do this? I don't know how to make pumpkin pie. Blah, blah, blah. And then they did it, and then
both of us were like, oh.
I know. I watched the video, and I was like, that's it?
Okay.
I get, once you have it figured out, it's not hard. So her recipe uses silken tofu, cornstarch, and so that's the like egg replacer.
Yeah.
And then the, basic ingredients, pumpkin pie spice, sugar, pumpkin puree, and it calls for evaporated milk. And so there's some vegan brands, vegan evaporated milk.
Which typically are not hard to find at the holidays.
Surprisingly, yeah. They're not
they
hard
are,
to find.
They're out. Like basically what I have found in our neighborhood in Albuquerque, like in the Albuquerque area, is that most Sprouts will have an entire vegan baking section, like a little island set up in the holidays during the holiday season. So keep your eye out for that.
And then another tip is one time I was really, I had my heart set on making pumpkin pie, and we didn't have the evaporated milk, which I thought we did. And I tried the silk half and half instead just to see, and it worked.
Good.
So you can use like an unflavored vegan half and half.
Okay.
Or I'm guessing you can like if you make your own like creamy stuff.
Yeah.
You can, there's different options. So.
Yeah, I was surprised. We watched the video and I was just like, oh, that doesn't feel very daunting at all.
Not remotely. But like I said, it's the egg replacer, and what's the right one?
Mm-hmm.
That is like...
Yeah, because the recipes online really are all over the place. So it really does help to have a tried and true recipe. And this has been her recipe for years now.
Mm-hmm.
Years and years now.
Mm-hmm.
So it is tried and true. It's literally at our dinner table every holiday season. Sometimes even her cheesecake sometimes, which I guess is coming up next. Her pumpkin cheesecake is sometimes even requested for birthday dinners randomly in the year. That one's definitely tried and true, tested, approved.
Yeah, so
let's move into that one.
Yeah, so that's pumpkin pie, but then she makes a pumpkin cheesecake. Which is kind of similar ingredients actually, but you use a little vegan cream cheese to give it that cheesecake consistency and flavor. You can use any vegan cream cheese that you want. You just want like an unflavored one.
Right.
Obviously, or maybe not obviously, but a plain one. And we like tofutti. That's our favorite.
That's my favorite. The
one that she likes to use is called Kite Hill.
Kite Hill?
I think she uses the Kite Hill.
The Kite Hill one.
But there's, Daya, there's
Miyokos.
There's all kinds. Anyway, it's actually a pretty simple recipe as well.
Yeah.
Kind of just basically, combine your dry ingredients, blend your wet ingredients, mix them together and bake it.
Yeah.
Super easy.
So some pumpkin puree, the spices, sugar. Is there silken tofu in that one as well?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Nice. Okay.
Yeah. And then both of these, the pumpkin pie and the pumpkin cheesecake, go good topped with a little whipped cream.
Yep.
And we usually just use the canned.
They're like ready coconut whip.
The coconut base or the almond base?
Or the almond base, yeah.
Surprisingly, I like the almond base better. You would think I'm an almond snob, so I wouldn't, but I like it. But the coconut they're basically the same thing. They're both really good. The kids like them both. Sometimes someone in the family gets super ambitious and makes it homemade from scratch.
Yeah.
With the coconut cream.
Yeah.
And you whip it up.
Yep.
And add whatever sweetener and spices you want. You can add cinnamon sugar and some sweetener.
Little pumpkin pie spice sprinkled on top of that too. Give it that fancy festive look.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or just buy the can. You can usually find them anywhere.
Yeah.
We find them all over the place.
Yeah.
So those are some good pumpkin desserts. And then, of course, this episode would not be complete without talking about our PSLs. Hashtag pumpkin spice latte.
Back to the coffee.
And again, easy. We're all about easy.
And this was another sister who figured this out,
yeah,
right? Yes,
yeah.
Your sisters are on it for us with the pumpkin.
They are. And that the sister that figured this out, she's the coffee.
Yeah, she's like you with coffee.
But she's worse, or
she's more selective.
She drinks coffee more frequently than I do, and she's more selective. We'll say it that way. And both of us are okay, I need a PSL, a good one.
Yeah.
What am I going to do?
Yes.
So she came up with this really good and pretty easy recipe. It uses vegan half and half. Again, some pumpkin puree, and then just some spices, sweeteners.
Yeah.
And so you make your pumpkin sauce. Because that's how they make it.
Yeah. They have their pumpkin syrup or whatever it is.
At the coffee shops, it's a pumpkin syrup or a pumpkin sauce or whatever. So you make that, and then you just make your latte or brew your coffee, however you want to do it. You can just brew coffee a little extra strong and then use the pumpkin sauce.
Yeah.
And some milk, or, you can add that pumpkin sauce to your regular drip coffee, and then a little half and half if you want a little more creamy to it, whatever you want to do. So you can play around with it and use different options.
Well, and then now there's also pumpkin coffee. I used to not see pumpkin coffee just in the grocery store. We would get the Pinon pumpkin coffee.
It's the New Mexico Pinon Coffee Company.
Yes, New Mexico Pinon Coffee Company has different flavors. And at this time of year, our favorite was the pumpkin.
It's the best coffee in the world.
It's so good.
I'm just going to throw that out there. As you were.
Anyway, so sometimes you get that pumpkin coffee and then you get that pumpkin syrup and you put your hands together and you've got some extra yummy pumpkin goodness there. But now I've seen, and we grabbed it at Walmart, there was a pumpkin coffee mix. Pumpkin spice coffee. And we grabbed that.
That's what I'm drinking right now.
Yeah. And
with just regular half and half.
With just regular half and half. And then the other thing that you can do if you don't have any, but you have some pumpkin pie spice and you don't have puree yet or anything is, and you used to do this with cinnamon, that you would put cinnamon in, when we had a drip coffee machine, you would put cinnamon in the grounds and then you would get a cinnamon flavor in your coffee. So you can throw some pumpkin pie spice in your cinnamon grounds to get a bit of a pumpkin flavor in your coffee. If you don't, have the fixins to do the PSL or the sauce.
Or you don't want to do all that effort.
Yeah.
Sprinkle some of that spice in the grounds before you brew it.
Yeah. And the reason why we recommend that is because if you just put it into your coffee, it's really hard to mix in. Like cinnamon kind of floats on the top and you can't quite mix it in. The pumpkin pie spice is similar like that. And so if you put it in your grounds, you get the flavor without that spice being right on the top or getting stuck to the back of your throat or whatever.
So you're basically letting it steep into the coffee.
Yeah.
And then you strain it out.
Yeah. Like
with herbal tea. But,
yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So a couple little tips there for getting you some pumpkin coffee.
Absolutely. All right. And of course, you can do like pumpkin spice chai.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Which we got from Trader Joe's. Or you got the Tazo brand.
Yeah, the Tazo brand recently. They have the pumpkin spice. Trader Joe's, I don't remember. I think it's their harvest spice is what it's called with the fox on it.
That's correct.
It's harvest. So it's not necessarily pumpkin, but it's harvest spice. And it's really fantastic, especially for this time of year. But there's all sorts of like K-Cups, the Keurig brand. Like there's pumpkin coffee for that. There's like so much more pumpkin stuff out right now, or like continues to come out, that I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And I think if I remember correctly, Sprouts and I think Kroger carries this same brand that Sprouts does. I forget what the brand is. It's some like generic store brand, but you can get pumpkin snaps, like the ginger snap cookies.
Oh, yeah.
And you can find the pumpkin snap cookies. And those are usually accidentally vegan too. Especially if it's in like that bag and it looks kind of old fashioned, like the old fashioned ginger snap, and they have like old fashioned lemon snaps, and they'll have old fashioned pumpkin. That one's pretty tasty too. And that's good to go like little dunk in your coffee or afternoon tea too. If you don't have the energy to make some pumpkin scones, get yourself some pumpkin snaps.
There you go. That's a good tip.
So.
And I wanted to also just mention too that harvest spice that you talked about is caffeine free.
Oh yeah.
So for people who are doing the caffeine free thing,
and it's really delicious.
That's a good uncaffeinated option.
Yeah.
It's just like herbal tea. And of course you could do decaf coffee and decaf lattes.
Yes.
Because why not? When I did a caffeine cleanse, I was all about the decaf coffee for the flavor. And then one more thing I was going to say is when you were talking about different products that come up. So you can find this at Trader Joe's and I don't know, probably other places, but there's that. It's called like pumpkin beverage.
Oh my gosh.
And it's basically like almond milk, but it's like pumpkin almond milk, right?
Yeah. It's like this thick and creamy pumpkin, like pumpkin juice.
It's like pumpkin milk though.
You call it like pumpkin, make it be your Harry Potter pumpkin juice.
Pumpkin juice, yeah, but it has almost as the consistency of milk.
Yeah.
And so I was just thinking that's another good way. Like, it's like a cheater PSL thing. You could make some strong coffee
and
or
pour that.
some espresso or whatever, and then just fill that.
Yeah. Trader Joe's usually has a lot of pumpkin stuff. This time of year, they also have those pumpkin cinnamon rolls.
Oh, yeah,
which are super delicious. Yep. And they're accidentally vegan.
They're in the like cold section.
Yep.
The like pop,
by their regular
the can
cinnamon
that
rolls.
pops open. And then you bake them. Oh, those are so good.
Yeah,
and
those are so good. I know. Yeah. And then they usually, and then they have the like pumpkin JoJo's, I think it's what it's called. It's their version of like a different flavored Oreo, essentially. A cream-filled sandwich cookie. There you go. And then what else? They usually have so much pumpkin stuff.
They do the pumpkin cereal, like cold cereal, but it's pumpkin flavored.
Yeah. And there's probably like pumpkin bars, like breakfast bars and granola. So, there's probably a whole bunch of stuff at Trader Joe's.
Just explore, but the fun thing is the majority of it is accidentally
vegan.
Like we rarely find stuff that's not vegan.
Yeah, exactly. Especially those cinnamon rolls.
Mm-hmm.
Scoop those up because they're delicious. Yeah,
those.
And it comes like the icing too. Like it comes with some icing, and that last I checked was accidentally vegan also. Okay, sorry. Tangent. You see, I like pumpkin.
No, it's fine. So we've covered a lot of stuff.
We have.
I mean, there's no limit.
There's not.
If you're at all familiar with like Pinterest or
I don't know anything
nature,
about Pinterest.
Your Pinterest board probably has 8,942 pumpkin recipes.
I should look and see how many pumpkin things I have on there.
But yeah, we wanted to share some tried and true recipes.
Yes.
Because, the internet can be like, whoa.
Yeah.
But here's some, these are some tried and true, some faithful, reliable recipes and ideas to get some good pumpkin goodness.
Yes.
And we would love to hear.
Yes. I would love to try some of your tried and true pumpkin recipes.
Because Mickey's all about it.
Yes.
As always, thank you for joining us. We hope to see you at our upcoming virtual cooking class webinar. And we look forward to hearing your pumpkin recipes. And we will see you next time.
Yes. Have a lovely, crisp fall. Thanks for joining us. We release new episodes every 2 weeks. You can always email us at plantbased@apnm.org or visit our website at apnm.org/plant-based for classes, recipes, and more resources.
See you in 2 weeks.